What is up? Welcome to another edition of SacTown Movie Buffs. Once again, I'm Kier, and this is Jason. And today we are back reviewing a film that I believe this one is only streaming. Is that correct?
Disney Plus.
Only on Disney Plus. And that film is going to be Chippendale Rescue Rangers. And I believe Jason here is going to take this one on. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Sure. Yeah. So, Chippendale Rescue Rangers is uh first of all, full disclosure, I was a big Chippendale fan when I was a kid. Like I loved the Chippendale cartoons. I don't remember them that well, but because I was like really young, real
Yeah, I
little.
don't remember. I remember seeing them, but I don't remember that well. I was more of like a DuckTales kind of person, so I just don't remember Chippendale as much. So my memory's a little better of just Scrooge McDuck swimming through like the money pit and stuff like that of like gold and stuff. I just don't remember Chippendale quite as much. All I remember is they were dressed like 80s like Indiana Jones and what's the
Yeah.
other guy what was the other show? I can't remember the other show, but they're just like 80s characters basically. So
Well, like Magnum PI kind
yeah, Magnum PI. Yeah, that's
of.
what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So anyway, like I loved that show when I was a kid, but when I saw there was a movie coming out on Disney Plus, at first I was like, I just thought it'd be like, like the Clifford movie or the Alvin and the Chipmunks movies, like just kid movies that I had no interest in. I don't have any kids, so I didn't have anyone, whatever. Um, but I got interested when I started reading a few things about it. First of all, finding out that it was directed by Akiva Schaffer, who did well. First, he's associated with Andy Samberg and can't remember the other guy's name, but the
John
Lonely
Mulaney.
Island, huh?
John Mulaney.
Yeah. Well, no, not him. The other guy from the Pop Star movie.
Oh,
And
yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot that other guy's name. Yeah.
yeah, the guy in the Lonely Island, and So anyway, like I love Pop Star is one of my favorite comedies, and Hot Rod. I liked Hot Rod a lot. I'm a big Andy Samberg fan, so automatically that piqued my interest, and then I saw how good the reviews were, and I read that it was like a not just the Alvin and Chipmunks movies. It's actually like a very self-aware kind of spoof of reboots while being a reboot at the same time. I live for that kind of stuff. I love satire. I love that sense of humor. So that made me interested in seeing it. So it's not just your standard issue kid movie, but the story is basically that Chippendale, it doesn't just go into the world of the show. It's like the show was a show, and they were the actors in the show, and they went their separate ways after the show ended, but now they have to come back together when one of the original cast members is kidnapped, basically. And one thing just to cut to the chase, I enjoyed this movie quite a bit, and I really like the approach they took, because they took very clearly influenced by Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is one of my favorite movies, because it mixes the cartoon characters with human characters, and the human characters know of the tunes, and it's not like Toontown, but it's very similar, like different kind of areas where the tunes associate, and stuff like that. So I love that kind of stuff, and I love that kind of self-aware satire of one of my favorite jokes. It's very simple, but the fact that Chippendale, of course, had a falling out after the show ended. And Chip has gone the way of, fan conventions and trying to hold on to his fame. And he went so far as to get CGI surgery, they call it. So he looks like a CGI cartoon character. Whereas
Right.
Dale left show business, and he still looks like line drawn animation. And
Right.
it's just full of jokes like that. And I love that kind of sense of humor. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like the first hour or so of this, because there's so many, like there's a cameo in this movie from I think every animated character that's ever existed, almost, it feels like. I mean, there like lots of ones that I don't even know, but you could tell in the background, oh, somebody's gonna know that character or something like that.
Right.
But not just Disney movies, there's cameos from South Park, what have you. Just if you keep your eyes peeled, it's one of those movies where if you keep your eyes peeled, there's a a joke like in every corner of every frame, you know.
Right.
And I love that kind of stuff. And you know, there's even jokes, you know, about early 2000s computer animation and how, you know, those Polar Express eyes, you know, that people talk about, like, you know, I never liked the Polar Express movie. I know a lot of people who love it, but I could never really figure out what it was until people started talking about, yeah, the human characters just look weird. They look like waxy mannequins with that have come to life or something like that. And their eyes are just kind of vacant. And, you know, so there's a whole area, you know, it's like the bad area of town is where all the early 2000s animated characters hang out. And they just kind of look like sort of real, but not real. And they're just kind of creepy looking. And, you know, that's a whole running joke in there too. So like the first, like 2/3 of this movie, I thought it was like borderline perfect. I thought it was just my sense of humor. I was laughing constantly. I will say toward the end, it kind of peters out a little bit. In my opinion, like the last like half hour, it's kind of, I wouldn't say it loses the satirical angle, but it focuses more on plot. You know, it's more about the rescue, you know, the police operation to rescue the cartoon character, and it's still funny and everything like that, but it's funny in a more conventional, just kind of plot-centered way that just kind of like I tuned out a little bit. But I would say the first 2/3, that's all just like really clever commentary on reboots themselves. You know, it's like a reboot that is making fun of reboots in general, and all the interactions between the real characters and like the all the human characters. I thought all that was really clever. So yeah, I really loved about 2/3 of this movie, and I liked the other third, I would say. But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot, quite a bit. How about you?
Yeah, you know, I thought it was fun. I kind of agree with you. I don't know if our grades will be the same, but I definitely agree with you in the sense that I definitely like the beginning of it. I liked all the old nostalgia stuff, and like you, I didn't get everything. Like I barely even remember Chip and Dale, to be honest with you. But so I didn't remember everything that you know was on there, and it's a lot to watch. It's like the kind of film that if you enjoyed it, you probably could watch it again. You'd pick up on some more of those subtle nuances and things of that nature that they threw in there. But yeah, I thought it was really, really funny. I thought it was really fun. I did like the aspect of it that they were, you know, actually actors on Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, you know, versus, you know, and so they took them out of that element, and now they're just like everyday normal people of like kind of like has-beens of like this popular show that was in the 80s, and they're kind of living their lives, and then, you know, and then they're kind of getting back together, you know, reluctantly for the most part, you know, in order to, you know, find their missing friend that was on that show. So yeah, I kind of liked all that. I liked all the characters that you're meeting, all the wackiness of all that. You know, and then it's definitely kind of film that I think it's I'm not saying kids aren't going to enjoy it, but it's definitely the kind of film that I feel like you almost had to have some nostalgia for like the 80s, you know, throwback from that era, in my opinion. Just because I know that a couple of our kids saw it, and you know, and then we also saw like The Bad Guys, and they were just like, yeah, Chip and Dale, it was okay, you know, but no, we really like The Bad Guys, which I was completely flipped on. I thought The Bad Guys was just okay, and like Chip and Dale significantly more. But for me, it was because of the nostalgia of it, you know, because of like I picked up on some of those subtle old school nuances and things of that nature from like shows from back in the day, the 80s and 90s, and even into the early 2000s and stuff like that. Whereas, you know, I don't know if they're going to get all those jokes, and they're not going to have, you know, memories of those characters. So for kids, I don't know. You know, I don't know that, you know, I know at least the kids here, they weren't like as into it. You know, I don't know if all kids are going to be into it, but for people like our age, I think most of us would dig it for the most part. So
it's really geared toward adults. Honestly, it's more.
It is, and that's the other thing. I think it's geared more towards adults. I mean, obviously it's Disney, so it's very, you know,
family friendly. You know,
it's definitely family friendly. There's not like adult themes necessarily, but a lot of the jokes are more for adults. I feel like a lot of the throwbacks are more for adults. So I just don't know that necessarily kids are gonna, you know, love this as much as adults that grew up in that era are gonna like it.
They're not gonna get kids aren't gonna get jokes about Hammer Pants and you know, Polar Express. You know what I mean?
So they're not gonna get it. But for me, I liked it. Like you said, and like you, I it did kind of I hate to say falter, but it wasn't as good in the last, like you said, because that was more about like, the mission to get their friend back and that sort of stuff. And so some of the nuances and funniness and throwback of the previous parts of the film, were kind of void at that point. So it was, like you said, there's still humor in the last 30 minutes or so. It was just different, a little more subdued, I guess, if you will. So
Yeah. Yep.
But overall, yeah, it was a fun time. Definitely a film that I would watch again for sure. Like I said, but yeah, it was fun, and like I said, I like I'm a big fan of the actors. I also like John Mulaney as well. He's pretty fun. I actually saw him in stand up a few weeks ago here in Sacramento. He's a pretty funny dude.
Cool.
Yeah, real funny guy. I've seen some of the specials, and we got tickets. My wife got one ticket, so we were able to go see him. And like the VIP section, so it was pretty cool. So
nice.
Yeah, cool. Well, cool. Well, anything else you want to add about Chippendale Rescue Rangers?
Nope.
All right. So overall grade and face you would give this one?
I almost gave it 4 out of 5, but I ended up giving it a 3.5 out of 5, which is a solid B. Might have room to move up next time, who knows? But it's like happy face, even though that's not really that accurate, because I honestly, for the first hour, I was laughing nonstop, pretty much, to be honest. It just kind of ran out of steam in the last part for me,
Yeah.
So, but it was really, really good for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think I'm actually giving this one a 3.5 out of 5 as well. For some reason, I thought you were giving this one like a 4 or higher or something. But yeah, I'm giving this one a 3.5 out of 5 also. Like I said, I kind of felt the same about as you did. I really loved the first, like you said, 2/3 of the film were great, and not that the last half was bad.
No.
It just wasn't as fun and funny as the the first hour or so of the film. So, but yeah, definitely, like I said, 3.5. So just a big smile, some teeth, but definitely enjoy this one quite a bit. So
yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, it was gunning for a 4.5 for a while there. It was pretty much it's exactly my sense of humor for a lot of it. I'll put it that way. So,
for sure.
I may be being too hard on the last 30 minutes, but we'll see. I'll watch it again at some point.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, cool. Well, let us know down in the comments. Have you seen Chippendale Rescue Rangers? Did you like it? Did you not like it? As always, if you like the channel, we ask that you like, subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification, and we'll be back again with another show for you guys. We thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day.